Yeah, I didn't light it on fire or anything. It's just I didn't trip a break or anything, but my main machine is a piece of junk. I've been waiting to upgrade it for a while, and I just haven't yet. So yeah, I basically have a bunch of garbage right now, including this rig. All right, so I am now on my third GPU, plugged up, working this way, and you can see over there, there's 3 GPUs that are seen by the system, and if you look on on Simple Mining, there are 3 there. So actually 3 is a pretty good number because that's the most we've seen so far. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to add the 4th one and see what we can come up with. Alright, 4th GPU added. Make sure I get the right USB cable, adapter, and all that stuff. Alright. Power looks good. Yeah, I think we're good here. And what I've noticed is ever since I started doing this, I haven't had that fan stop problem. Since I started from this side and I'm working my way, left. So I've restarted the rig, or started the rig up, a total of 4 times, and I haven't had that problem. So, hey, what's up, Crypto at Night? What's going on? We're just troubleshooting a little bit. My streaming machine crashed, so I had to fire it back up. But I've got a rig here that it doesn't see all the GPUs, and we're just going through, basically disconnecting, reconnecting, adding one at a time, and all that stuff, and just trying to troubleshoot it. So it sees, at this point, it sees these 4. And let me show you on Simple Mining here. And you can see right there that it does see all 4. Well, all 4. There's 8 total, but it only sees 4. But there's only 4 connected, so that's good. I'm happy so far. So we're going to shut down and add a 5th one. It looks like this is one that I actually swapped. Because I started out, I was doing risers, I was changing risers and everything. And then we kind of came up on the fact that it probably wasn't that, based on what we were seeing. So, what I want to do now I was kind of leaning towards it being an actual power supply problem. And this rig was up and running fine for a year, more than a year. Or about a year. No, not a year. Hang on. About 10 months. Gonna be for 5. So putting GPU 5 back in. And these are actually in a different order than original, as far as the physical GPU different. Basically put them in order backwards, I think, from the way I took them out. Alright, so I got power, USB, all the way to... I say USB, you know I'm just talking about the cable. I know that it's not USB. It's not a USB device. It just uses the cable to transfer data down. It's just a convenient, popular cable, that's all. Alright, so let's see here. Power on. Okay, now we're going to get the fan stop. I can tell because the fan went to 100%. So this fan... That was the first time I got the fan stop problem. But again, I think that that's not related to the actual problem that we're seeing tonight. Now it's going to be this one, it sounds like. Maybe this one. There we go. See how it changes? It's random. It's completely random. But again, it's not the problem that we're actually troubleshooting. The problem we're actually troubleshooting is whenever all 8 GPUs are connected, it was only showing 4. And no matter what I did, power up, power down, restart, all that stuff, it was always only showing 4. So now what we're looking for, hopefully, there's 5 GPUs connected now. So hopefully we see 5. That would be nice. And guess how many it sees? 2. So it sees 2 of 8. And that started whenever I added the 5th GPU. So now what I'll do is shut down and go back to the 4 and see if I can still see 4, right? So I'm just going to remove the one that I just added because up until then I was able to see all 4. Now this is one, I want to say that this riser is not one that, actually no, this is a new riser. But I'm not using a new adapter down on the motherboard. So maybe we should try that first. So let me leave this connected. I'm going to leave this power connected, and I'm going to let's see here. The riser's new here, so I just need to get a new cable. This is probably new as well. Okay. So now we have a new riser, cable, and adapter. So we have basically a new connection to the motherboard. So let's try that. Yeah, that's basically what we're trying to do is process elimination. Just go through, and it's been a really weird problem. Again, I mean, this rig was running for 10 months straight, no problems, other than that weird fan stop, GPU not showing up. But usually within 3 to 5 power offs, power ons, all of them would come up and it would be fine. So it's still, even with a new GPU, a new riser, cable, and adapter, still only sees 2. So let me go back to 4. I'm going to take this one out of the mix and see if I can get 4 to show up again with no problem. Disconnecting it completely, no power or anything connected to it, to the riser. It's not connected to the motherboard. So let's see. Just going to get a fan stop error there. So usually that's the way it is. You get that fan stop, that high speed fan one time, once or twice, maybe at the most 3 times, and then it comes up. So now I only have 4 connected. And it only sees 2. So we can't even get it to show us the 4 that we got it to show us before we went to the 5th one, right? So it only sees 2. All right. Yeah, this is going to take some time for sure. Yeah, we kind of went backwards on that one because I was really thinking that because we got these 4 to show up initially. Basically what I did, I started here, added 1 at a time, and we got 4 of them to show up, and it was fine. We added the 5th one, we had the 2 show up, then we removed the 5th one, and now only 2 show up again. So this is, and whenever you see stuff like this, I mean, the problem and the symptom is jumping all over the place, right? You can't even get it to you can't even focus on it being one specific thing. Like you can't narrow it down in almost any way whatsoever. And usually whenever you run into problems like that, you're dealing with a funky power supply, a funky motherboard maybe. I mean, there's a whole host of other things it could be, but it's just not likely to be the GPUs. It's not likely to be the risers in this case because we've swapped so many of them and we're still getting the same symptom. So at this point, I'm thinking motherboard or power supply and the desktop power supply. Probably not the server PSU, most likely. I can't rule it out, but it just seems like a lot of it started with the server, with the desktop PSU, this power supply over here, because we got to remember that that's what's feeding the motherboard also. So I think, honestly, I think my very next move is probably going to be to swap that power supply out with a known good one and just see if the symptoms change any. But I'm going to have to wrap it up here because I got to go to work in the morning. So unfortunately, this rig that has been on Conceal.Network mining CCX for about 10 months now. Well, probably not that long. I think we've only been doing CCX maybe 6 or 7 months, I think. It's going to be down for at least another 12 hours, maybe a little bit longer. That sucks. So, I mean, I guess I could leave it up and mine it with 2. Let's see if we can get 4 to show up. I'll leave it that way. Yeah, we've done the 1 GPU at a time. It is literally just jumping all over the place. See, now it won't even start, won't boot up. It goes into BIOS. Which this symptom right here kind of points towards the motherboard or power. You know, whenever electronics don't get the proper power, that, you know, the precise power that they need, obviously you get weird results. And that's what I was trying to say earlier is, you know, if you're not getting the proper power, then you're going to get all kinds of weird symptoms. See, and I didn't do anything with the motherboard. All I did was powered it down, and powered it back up, and then now it's booting up and not going into BIOS like it did before. Some of this could be that, you know, that I'm running it off of a USB, and the USBs that I have are pretty cheap. I really need to get at least these two rigs on SSDs, just so I can eliminate that problem. So it still only sees 2. Two GPUs, that's it, even though 4 are connected. So, yeah, man, I don't know. Not cool. I guess I'll leave it up, mine in CCX with two GPUs here. Yeah, I'm gonna sleep on it, and although I did sleep on it last night too, because the problem existed yesterday, but I kept restarting it, and I got it to actually come up to, I want to say I got it to where it was, it has 7, and so I just left it running with 7 all day today, and then so I was thinking about it during the day, and yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. But it definitely seems like power or a motherboard or something on the motherboard, you know, CPU, memory. It doesn't really act like memory or CPU, but it does seem power related to me. But I don't know. I'm going to let it rock with two GPUs, and then we'll just revisit tomorrow, maybe. Are the 2 of them the ones that didn't work? No. See, the symptoms jump around. It's not, these 2 over here were on the desktop PSU, and I was thinking that earlier on, whenever we were troubleshooting like hours ago, I was thinking that maybe if the desktop PSU was bad, that maybe that's why, or bad in some way, like not providing proper power, that's why these 2 are disconnected. And I was thinking that maybe that was the case, but we quickly found out that that wasn't the case. Right now, I mean, I don't know which one of these 4 or which 2 of these 4 are actually working. I mean, I could use simple mining to figure that out. But I don't think it matters because the symptom jumps around. I mean, it's like, you know, we just had, whenever I restarted this stream, whenever the other machine crashed, I had added a 3rd and it worked, and then I added a 4th and it worked, and then we added a 5th and it went back to only showing 2 GPUs, and then we took the 5th off, and then it still only shows 2 GPUs. So we're just in this weird, yeah, exactly, Serial Thriller. It does seem like it's electrical, and most of it seems to be geared around the desktop PSU and not the server PSU. But I mean, I can't rule out the server PSU, but it seems to be, you know, it's got an LED display on it and stuff, and all that stuff seems normal, without, you know, checking voltages with a multimeter or anything like that. I would say that it's good, but definitely seems like a power related problem. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about this a little bit more, I think. But I haven't reset the motherboard BIOS. I can do that real quick. I don't have a keyboard attached to it, but I could try that. I think this one I just have to, I think on the H110 Pro I can just take the battery out. I don't have, yeah, I was saying that earlier, I don't have another PSU rightly available. I added my spare PSU to one of my other rigs for one of the live streams, so I don't have one available that I can just drop in here. What I would probably end up doing is taking the identical PSU out of basically the other rig, the other identical rig, and connecting it, you know, and using it in this rig to see if that solves the problem. That's probably the next step. Yeah. Let it think about its behavior. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe just leaving it off overnight, it'll start behaving. Yeah, I don't think this motherboard has a jumper or anything for the BIOS. I think all you have to do is take the battery out. I also like to disconnect the power cable to the motherboard, or I'm sorry, to the PSU that's supplying power to the motherboard too, whenever I'm trying to erase the BIOS. I think that, I want to say that this thing won't boot off of USB. Oh, you know what it does? I think that this motherboard defaults to, let's see, I'm trying to remember. I want to say if something's plugged into the PCI 16 by slot, that it actually tries to use that as the primary GPU. So I just switched that over. I had something plugged in there. I had this GPU plugged in there actually, I think. Yep. So hopefully it'll go to the onboard. So battery back in, power back in. And see, it's not set to come on. So that tells me right there that the BIOS was erased successfully, or, you know, reset successfully, because it didn't power on whenever I hit the power switch. Because, you know, obviously, you know, one of the first things you set as a miner in your BIOS is to power on after power loss, right? So I just turned the power on and it didn't come on, so I know that the BIOS has been erased or reset successfully. I already have the fan stop problem. And it doesn't have a display. So see, I would have to, what do I have to do here? Oh, now it does, okay, good. So 2 of the 4 have the fan stop problem. It's crazy. Now it's good. Yeah, I hear you, Crypto at Night. Alright, so it's waiting on me to hit keys over here because it says, it's waiting on me to hit F1 to continue. Let me see if I got a keyboard somewhere I can plug in. I just hit F1 to continue. That's crazy, and then it automatically it went to have a fan stop problem. That sucks. And it didn't initially. What's up, Red Panda? We're just hanging out, having fun, troubleshooting a rig that's acting crazy. Surfing, I believe, to me, unless you've got high-speed fans, and I don't, these are just cheap LED fans, I don't think it matters too much, but it also kind of depends on whether or not you have a wall back here or not, right? So, if honestly, if mine is up against a wall normally, so probably the fan should be the other way, but I don't even have them on because they spin so slow that it doesn't even really affect anything. They just consume a lot of electricity for nothing, basically. Alright, so because the BIOS was reset, it only sees one GPU. So let's go, I'm saying that that's because the BIOS was reset. I don't know for sure. But I didn't even go into the BIOS. Remember, I just hit F1. So let me go into the BIOS, play around with that. There might be a couple of settings in here. Although this is a H110 Pro BTC Plus designed for mining, so I think right out of the box it's got a lot of decent settings as far as to allow your GPUs to be seen. Oh, shoot. I don't have a mouse on this thing, so. What time is it? 10:40 my time. Turning the onboard audio off. Restore on power, on AC power loss to on. All the PCIe link speeds are set to auto. And I think that that's okay. I want to say that that's how I had them set before. Although I think that most people set it to Gen 2. I'm going to leave it at auto right now, but storage. Turn all the parallel and serial ports off, just to free up those resources if needed. Intel virtualization technology turned off. Going to boot. Save changes and exit. All right. Yeah, that BIOS is super old. Yeah, I think the 4G support was already in there. I can double check, but I want to say that that's already set by default in that BIOS. But I do need to double check because, yeah, this rig was working fine for about 10 months, Nefarious. So it only sees one GPU. So let's go back into the BIOS. I thought Hey, what's up, Best Rumble? Thanks for subscribing. You might be, let's check. You might be the 1000th subscriber. You are. Say something in here. I forgot your name. Let's see here. It was Best Rumble NA. That was the 1000th subscriber. Awesome. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much. I'll have to get Best Rumble. I'll have to get you something. Let me know what crypto addresses you have. Maybe I can send you a little something that way. I'll figure something out. That's cool. I appreciate it. That's awesome. Finally, 1,000 subs. It only took over a year. That's super cool, though. And some pretty cool people were in here to see it, so that's nice. Even Red Panda. Oh, so you got, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that wasn't. Let me refresh here. Oh, see, now it says 1,002. So I think I was right. Maybe it looks like. Yeah, it looks like Best Rumble was probably it. Maybe, oh, I don't know. Because see, it doesn't show in here, in what I'm looking at here, it doesn't show, you know, if they don't do it during the live stream. So I do believe that best rumble NA was probably the 1000th. So that's very cool. Very cool. All right. Appreciate that, everybody. All right. Where were we? I was supposed to go into BIOS. Yeah, I let this thing boot up. My bad. Got excited whenever I heard the subscriber because it was like, oh man, I know I'm pretty close. So that's neat. All right, so let's go into the BIOS. Make sure the 4G thing is on. I'm pretty sure it already is, but just double check here. I don't remember exactly where it's at, so I'm just going to kind of go through all the settings. I don't think it's in here. Voltage, no. Yeah, that's OC tweaker. I don't know why I was in there. All right, so advanced CPU. You know what? It reset the BIOS for some reason. Or I didn't save it, maybe. Yeah, above 4G, 4 gigabyte MMIO BIOS assignment was already enabled. Right here, iGPU multi-monitor needs to be enabled on this because I have a monitor connected to the integrated. Yeah, wow, it didn't save my settings. I must not have clicked the right thing whenever I exited. I must not have saved it. All right. It's saved now. Yeah, this SG software control was disabled. And the way the terminology on that particular setting reads for the iGPU, the way it's worded, it really makes me think that it needs to be enabled for me to always see the monitor that I have connected. Because I pretty much I never connect a monitor to one of the GPUs that is for mining, right? I'm only always doing the integrated. So it still only sees one GPU. Wow, that's crazy. Only sees one. Yeah, it's super weird, man. This has been a weird problem. What I'm probably gonna do tomorrow is I will just break this whole thing down and kind of build it like fresh, new, and stop at the point where it doesn't seem to be acting right. And that'll probably help narrow down the problem. But I kind of think it seems to be power related, like a bad PSU, but I don't know for sure. And I mean, and probably not the server PSU, it's probably the desktop PSU, if I was to guess. Could be the server PSU, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to sleep on it. Yeah, I'll do the whole super chat thing maybe at some point. Yeah, I'm going to have to, it's almost 11 here, so I am going to end it because I have to go to bed. I'm completely exhausted here. But thanks for hanging out, guys. And it was really awesome that you guys got to see the 1,000th subscriber. That's super cool. Yeah, so tomorrow I'll probably just attack this thing by probably swapping the power supply. I do believe that that's probably at least part of the problem. So I'll grab the other power supply out of the working rig and throw it in here and see if that clears it all up. And I will let you guys know. Maybe I'll stream, tomorrow while I'm doing that too. So we'll see. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Thanks so much for hanging out. It's been awesome. I wish that we would have been able to figure it out. That would have been super cool. But, it doesn't always work that way. This is like real stuff. I mean, this is what you have to deal with if you're going to be into crypto mining. It's not always fun. A lot of times you end up having these weird problems, and you just have to work through it, I guess. So, yep, I will see you guys tomorrow, most likely. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow there'll be 8 of 8. You never know. By the time I go live, maybe I've already messed with this thing and I've gotten it back up and running. I don't know, but I'll let you guys know one way or the other what happens with it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Stay savage.